Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Our first guest today is a man who is instrumental in giving youngsters their first professional break in television. You notice that I went this way because I wish us all luck. We have 4 of these talented tots with us here in the studio, and here's how we're going to meet them. And without telling the panel why or what the reason is about the whole spot, they don't know anything about it, but each one of them has been given a child to bring out on the stage. So you know how it is when you're working with kids. So let's meet our panel and the kids right now on To Tell the Truth. Kitty Carlisle. Bill Cullen. Maggie Cass. And Father Tom Poston. This is just remarkable because I figure, you know, at least 1 out of 4 we got to have mayhem by now, well, but everybody's so happy.
I've got a jewel thief here.
I wouldn't hold mine because I'm afraid I'll break it. But I gave her the chair, you see.
You gave her the chair, and yeah. Tom, what did you say to me as
This
we
boy
came?
is an angel. His name is John, and I've named a room in my house after him because I like him so much.
This boy's name is Scott.
That's Scott over there, huh? Well, all right. Now, all these bright-looking youngsters either have appeared or are just about to appear very soon professionally on television. And let's meet the man who nudged them into prominence.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Joseph Schneider.
Number 2.
My name is Joseph Schneider.
Number 3.
My name is Joseph Schneider.
Okay, obviously only one of the 3 can indeed be Joseph Schneider, and here is his diaper dossier. It goes this way. I, Joseph A. Schneider, am a child psychologist. As such, I test babies for television commercials. It costs a tremendous amount of money to prepare a TV commercial, and when the script calls for a baby, there's the possibility of a lot of trouble, hence a lot of overtime. This is where I come in. The babies who want the part are brought to me. Depending upon what the client is looking for, I may tease them a bit, unexpectedly toss them up in the air, or perhaps bounce a beach ball off of their tiny noggins. I ferret out the troublemakers and find the precious one who has that special TV magic. While some mothers are taken aback by my tactics, the kiddies, by and large, love it. Now, seen with Kitty Carlisle is Christian Slater, a 1-year-old who appeared on TV for Pampers.
Yeah.
Bill Cullen walked in with 3-year-old Diana Gaynor, who made a commercial for Scott Tissue.
Now you know why I'm not holding her on my lap.
Nestled in the arms of Peggy Cass is 8-month-old Scott Benjamin, who has appeared in an Ivory Snow commercial.
He's a linebacker.
And escorted by Tom Poston is 2-year-old John Gibbons, who also was in an ad for Pampers.
And he just stole the other kid's rattle.
He's going to turn out to be a producer. Signed, Joseph Schneider. And I think it's best not to toy with fate. I think it's probably best for the young folks to take a bow and be returned to their mommies while we have a message or two from our clients out there.
Oh, I could carry them out, young folks.
Now remember that all 3 of these gentlemen claim to be Joseph Schneider, child psychologist who tests kids for television commercials. And let's start the question with, wow, Well, Bill Cullen, why not?
Oh, where are we here? I was so busy with my little tyke there. Number 3. Now, when these children are hired for TV commercials, how are they paid? I mean, assuming they're not a child that's already in demand. What is the pay scale for these children?
Well, they get paid $175.
Wow.
For a 3-hour appearance, or 1 hour to however long it takes.
Uh-huh. Number 1, do you have to have any safeguards because of the ASPCA?
The ASPCA?
The
That's
child...
dogs and
Oh,
things.
well, you know, the people who watch out for
You have to have a nurse, and I believe you have to have a crib as well.
Number 2, after a commercial runs a period of time, let us assume it runs 6 months, then do these children get additional money?
Yes, they get a residual. Every time the TV is shown, they get an additional fee.
Now, number 1, does the court decide what should be done with the child's money? I know that was brought up in Hollywood a long, long time ago.
I don't know.
No?
No.
Thank you, Bill. Let's go to Peggy.
Now, I really don't know which one of you it is, but I want to know, number 3, you says you tease them a bit. Well, what is that all about, you tease them a bit?
Well, to get reactions from them, you want the baby to react to you and to...
Well, they'll cry if you tease it, right?
No, not always. Sometimes they'll react differently. They'll crawl for you. They'll smile for you. You can make them do all sorts.
Well, number 2, it also says you bounce a beach ball off their tiny noggins. Well, my baby I had might belt you right back. I mean, I don't think that's nice to bounce a big... Don't any mothers get mad at you? I'd give you a punch in your noggin if you did that to my baby.
You do that.
If you bounce a beach ball off a baby's head, they're going to enjoy it very much. It doesn't hurt, and it's a form of recreation for them.
Well, I could recommend the Baby Eye Health for any commercial because he's got this... I mean, he smiles all the time. He's a grand baby. Number 1, how long can you keep the baby under the lights while you're actually photographing?
Well, you can keep it a fairly long period of time, but you cannot work more than a 3-hour period. The law requires that.
But,
And from Peggy, we go to Tom.
Number 2, what is your fee?
Well, I get paid by the advertising agency so much and so much per diem.
That's what my next question was, who paid you, actually? Number 1, are you actually involved in the work when the kids are performing?
Well, I try to see that they're responding the way the advertising agency wants them to respond. I'll show them crackers or bounce a ball or something along those lines to make them react properly.
While they're actually being filmed?
Oh, definitely. These are basically stills that we're working on.
Oh, I see. In other words, number 3, you're actually working with the child at the time they're working. I thought you were just a testing agency.
No, that's not true.
Number 3, did you ever test adults? I should think the same principles would apply there. I know a lot of people that get very testy after a few hours under the lights.
Well, I never work with anyone over the age of about 5 years old.
You are a child psychologist, then?
No, I'm a psychologist, but I deal with children in this work for television.
Thank you.
Sure, before every show, up in the dressing room, we bounce a beach ball off of Peggy's head.
That's
you know,
right.
puts her in good shape. Want to go down to Kitty?
I'd tease her.
It's a fascinating field. Number 1, are you unique in this field as a psychologist, or are there others who do this work with children?
As far as I know, I'm the only one that does this type of work.
How did you happen to get into it?
Basically, I was a baby photographer, and I photographed for an advertising agency.
I see.
And
then
one
went to
agency
school.
had some obstreperous children, and they called me. I foolishly did the work for gratis, and after that, I charged a fee.
Number 2, are you trained as a psychologist?
I am, yes.
Number 2, would you tell me, do you think that being a child model is detrimental to a child's future development?
But definitely not.
Don't think it matters at all?
Not one bit.
Number 3, do you agree with that?
Yes, I think it could help.
Number 2, what do you know about a troublemaker? I mean, what is a troublemaker?
kid that yells when you hit him.
Or if you don't pay him, Kitty, he raises
troublemaker, right?
Number 2, answer.
We try to avoid the type of youngster who will be a clinger, who will cling to mommy, won't go to strangers. We try to avoid a youngster that is so delicate and sensitive that he can only last for 5 minutes.
Well, did you all train these kids?
Hey, there you go. Goes the bell,
They were
bell,
wondering
bell. And
if
that
other
means
groups-
no more time for questions, but lots of time for balloting. And you must mark your ballots. And you mark them for number 1, or for number 2, or for number 3. And as per usual, we pay $50 for each wrong vote, $500 if none of them is right. And Bill Cullen, you must make a decision.
Gee, I don't know. I know nothing about children and nothing about, well, I guess yeah. But anyway, number 3 sounded at least like a psychologist. He didn't try any psychology talk. And they're the sneaky kind, I understand, boy. So I voted for him.
There's
Keep
one for
an eye
number
on
three.
number 3.
And Peggy.
Well, there's only one up there that really looks like a psychologist to me.
Oh?
And even more, the only kind of a psychologist that could bounce a ball off a poor little kid's head, and that's 2.
And she's going to have words with you, number 2, if you turn out to be the right one. Let's go from Peggy to Tom. How do you vote, my friend?
I voted for number 1 because when he stepped forward and said his name, little John, sitting in my lap, gave me a tiny benediction, and I thought it was a sick... He gave a little tiny burp, and I thought maybe it was number 1.
Well, we got a tie all snarled up here. A 1, a 2, and a 3, and Kitty, you're going to have to break it.
Well, number 1 looks like a photographer, but number 2 looks like a photographer and a psychologist. And I liked what he said about, clinging to mommy and all the things he has to deal with all day. So I voted for number 2.
I know. Any money, I'm right.
You bet any money you're right.
I'm right.
You're on number 2, huh? All right. Votes are all in. Well, the real Joseph Schneider, please stand up. Hey. We'll be back to you in a moment there, Joseph Schneider. Let's find out about number 1, sir. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My real name is Miles Berman. I'm a real estate broker with Philip P. Bernstein and Company of Manhattan.
And number 3, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Ed Wilcox, and I'm a magazine writer.
Well, just to set the record straight, Joseph Schneider, there is some provision made in the law, isn't there, as to what happens to the money that the child earns?
No, not in New York State. The mother handles the money completely any way she wishes.
Any way she wants it, she can
That's
spend
right.
it on herself?
That's right.
There was that thing on the West Coast where Jackie Coogan made a fortune in pictures and grew up to be a penniless kid, and they passed the Coogan law, right?
That's right. Did Mr. Schneider pass on all these kids that we had today?
I
They were
chose
delicious.
everyone.
You were absolutely marvelous.
Mine
you.
is adorable.
Yeah.
Really nifty.
Well, thank you, Joseph Schneider, and thank you also,
For not making that.
friends, for being with us here on To Tell the Truth.